G'day, guys, and welcome back to the JFBS SuperCoach channel. And today we're going to go through the Fremantle Dockers team review going into the AFL 2026 SuperCoach season. If you haven't checked out the other 5 videos, go check them out whenever you can. Basically, just doing a review on each player from each team, who are some interesting guys to go for. That's basically about it. Yeah, I don't know much more to say in the intro, but that's it. We'll be keeping the tradition on, shouting out Nerds for Life. Thank you so much on Twitter. You've been an absolute legend putting these out. Basically, if you haven't got on top of what he's done, he basically gets these track watches and then himself, and he compiles it into a little document note thing here and just gives it to the SuperCoach community, which is really, really nice. So we get a better idea of how guys are going. So let's see how we're going here. I think this is my first time reading it. So mind you, this was January 13th, 2026. Finally have enough information for a match simulation report. Freo 18-18 teams appeared evenly matched, purple and white. O'Meara looks to have had a role change half back as a 365k mid. It could be an interesting pod if this sticks. Very interesting. Very interesting. Could that affect Jordan Clark? I hope not. Andrew Brayshaw played for the purple jumpers and Caleb Storm for the white jumpers. Both look good in their standard inside mid roles. Hayden Young, injury-free, dominant in the midfield, played for the white jumpers at 389k as a mid. The pick is looking hard to resist. I have him in my team. We'll get to it in a tech of way. I think you should as well. Darcy Purple, Jackson White battled it out in the ruck. Rookie Toby Wan played on the wing against Nathan O'Driscoll, which is interesting. You think Nod would get the all clear on that wing. Cox made a big statement up forward. White's to put up his hand for round 1. It's interesting. Jai Miss, the best ball for purple on the day. Rookie Tobin Murray showed positive signs at half forward to make a claim for early games. I personally have him in my team, but that's not because I'm super high on him or I know how he plays, but just he's cheap and he's there for now. Vossi, my favourite player on that Fremantle side, looks strong as well forward for the Whites. And Shea Bolton has absent due to personal reasons. So hopefully he's doing okay, the former Tiger. But yeah, some interesting things to note. Definitely this Jager O'Meara stuff that I didn't see as well. But let's have a look. Let's go into the team. Let's have a squiz and a quick talk about the Fremantle Dockers here. Jordan Clark at 568k. I've got him in my team personally with an average of 105. I didn't know about the whole Jager O'Meara role change. So that's really kind of spun my head, I'll be honest, at the moment. So maybe I need to pivot somewhere else. With Jordan Clark. Luke Ryan, 507k. We've gone away from him the past couple of years. I think last year was just his final year of going for him. He had his 109, 116 average and then back to 93. But I don't see it being any higher than 93 this year. Yes, he takes some kickouts. Yes, he in the past, Fremantle would just kick it and switch it as much as they can, and that's why Jordan Clark and Luke Ryan had the highest SuperCoach scorings back then. But Fremantle have gone away from that, so don't go with Ryan at 507k. Going back to Jordan Clark, I think he can be your top 6 defender, not midfielder, defender. I've got him in my defence at the moment, starting him because Fremantle don't have that early bye. It's just the whole O'Meara thing is just put a spanner in the works, in my opinion. Alex Pearce at 367k, you're probably not going to go for him. There's a reason why 0% are going with him. Chapman, Banfield, Brennan Cox, and Carl Warner. There's a reason, they're not going to be making your money. They're not going to be pushing the needle on their price anytime soon. But someone I did want to talk about is Judd McVee, obviously coming from Melbourne the past off season, coming back home. It was kind of it seemed like it was always going to happen, him coming back to Fremantle. So, yeah, no, you kind of expected that. But with a 57 average, I know he was a bit more of a lockdown defender in Melbourne. I don't know how Fremantle were going to use him. They're probably going to be doing the same thing. They'll use him as a lockdown defender down in their back six if they're going to play O'Meara off halfback. So just keep an eye out on that. I thought that he might have a halfback role, like because he's actually got a nice kick on him and he's got some good pace. So look, I compare him to Tom Brown, as you know. I like comparing players to Richmond guys. So Tom Brown, he's got a lovely right foot and he can kick the ball really long and far. Yeah, basically, he used to be the halfback that Sam Banks kind of took it over, and he took that step back playing the lockdown role. Some Richmond fans kind of want it to be him being that, like they do want him to play halfback, but look, I just don't think he's got the pace compared to what we've got bringing in Sam Grill, and we've got Sam Banks as well. So Judd McVee, it seems like they'll be playing him as a lockdown role. Moving on to the midfielders. So this is going to be a very, very fun conversation for at least four of them now. It's going to be three, but now it's four. Andy Brayshaw, I've got him in my side. I think he's a perfect guy that you can go for. He's at 616K. He averaged 115 last year. He's got Geelong, and he's got Melbourne, Richmond, Adelaide, Collingwood, West Coast. That's his first six. And it's not a bad first six, I'll be honest. I've got him in my squad. There's not really much more to say. I don't know what teams. Sorry, I'm repeating myself. I don't know what teams are going to do when it comes to tagging, because I felt like last year it was a pretty similar situation to Brisbane, where like it was all happening to Neil at first, so it was all happening to Sarong at first. Well, comparing Brisbane now, and then Brayshaw really broke out. That's okay. You can lock down Sarong, but you can't lock down Brayshaw. That was the same with Brisbane. They were like, oh, we'll lock down Neil, but you can't lock down McCluggage because he's out. But as soon as they locked down McCluggage, or as soon as they locked down Brayshaw, Sarong's averages went up. And the same with Lockie Neal as well last year. Sorry for that weird comparison. It probably did make sense why I brought in the Brisbane players, but that's where I'm trying to get that's what I'm trying to get my point across, is that you've got to be careful of which teams are going to be prioritising which player. This year, they might go for Brayshaw more often, and then they might say, oh, well, we've taken those teams that have tagged Brayshaw, Sarong's doing well and impacting well for Fremantle, then teams might go to Sarong, and then Brayshaw goes out again and scores well. Brayshaw's floor is around an 80, so just be prepared to be not disappointed, but that's such a better floor than most guys in the league, so don't worry about it. Talking about Sarong here, so he's actually not a bad discount from Brayshaw to him. An 8.2 point difference last year. Prices him at 571K. Look, there's a reason why 13% are going with him over Brayshaw because of price. I think he's a definite guy that you can go for. For me, personally, it's going to be very 50-50 on them. I'd love to go Brayshaw, personally, because I think I prefer him as a player. But then you've got to also realise that Caleb Sarong at 105, it's not the worst. Do I see Sarong being I'd see him being my M8 or M9. That's the best I can see him do with his averages last year. Whereas Brayshaw, I can see him in this middle chunk here, most definitely, with the guys of Nick Dacos and Noah Anderson that I want to bring in. So just need to make a decision. Definitely pre-season games will take an effect. I don't know if either team are playing in Western Australia versus Victoria game, the State of Origin one. So I don't know if either of them are playing in that. So maybe they might play in the practice matches. Matthew Johnson, we're not going to talk about because no one's going to be choosing him, unfortunately. Hayden Young. 53% of people have got Hayden Young. We've read the little match notes on him. I think he's going to be super duper handy for you. I can genuinely see him being an M8 or M9, but with Brayshaw or Sarong, you might need to get rid of one of them. So I do have Brayshaw and Hayden Young at the moment. He's priced at 393K. He can definitely get to the 90s. And he can definitely get to the hundreds. He did have scores of 100, like very high hundreds too. Yeah, 105, 83. Oh, this is not good. Let's do 24 because I feel like he was less injured in that. Yeah, so this is where he kind of broke out in a way. Like, 525, don't know. Put him into the midfield, 132, 119, 114. And then he dropped off again, 130, 120, 105, 100. And then again, 130, got 125, 110, 109, 117, 125, 105. So some really consistent numbers there towards the back end of the year, got you to around 570K. So probably around that Sarong price as well. So keep an eye on him. I've got him in my squad. I said this in the Brisbane one, I'm pretty sure, where I'm limiting myself to around one or two, like one, mid-range price per line. So I've got like Coleman in the back line. I have technically two, but it counts for forwards, I guess, with Young and Parrish. I don't know, Flanders kind of counts as a mid-pricer, but he'll be like a primo by the end of the season as that forward. So realistically, I've got one for each, which is really nice. But yeah, that's enough about Hayden Young. I think you guys should be jumping on him. If you want him to make money for yourself, then go for it. Going to be very quick with Carl Warner, O'Driscoll, and Erasmus. Going to say don't go for them at all. O'Driscoll was a great pick last year before he got injured, and then he continued to make more money, which is really good. So make sure you jump on those guys who are similar to what O'Driscoll was last year, where he was around 190K, a good high numbers or high, like, what was it, a more expensive rookie is what I'm trying to say. And then he kind of balled out a bit, which is good. He had a couple hundred games, which is nice. Erasmus Wagner, like I said, we're going to say no. O'Meara now is coming off half back. I just don't see it. Yeah, look, it could, hear me out. It could work, but I don't see it being from a 67 to an 80. If he gets to an 80, then I guess he's like one step closer to what his original price is to upgrade him to a primo. But I don't think he's going to put in as much points as Hayden Young and Darcy Parish, in my opinion. Moving on to the rucks now. This is going to be a very, very funny situation. Let's just add Mason Cox there for now. Luke Jackson, I've got him in my squad. And at first I was like, nah, he's going to be horrible. I don't rate him as a... I don't rate him as... It's not that I don't rate him as a ruck, it's just Sam Darcy is there. But now these new ruck rules are changed. I've got a feeling that Sean Darcy is going to... I don't think he's going to do well in these new rules. So Luke Jackson, potentially, he can be the ruckman, go down as... They said that they might play some CBAs with him and up forward. I reckon he'll stay around 100. I know that's him losing quite a bit of money, but I'd rather go for him than a Tristan Cherry, who's 70K more expensive and is going to tank to his price, in my opinion. So I've got at the moment Luke Jackson and Tim English as my two ruckmen because I think they fit the rules the best, which is good. Sean Darcy, I'm going to steer clear from 1% of you. I don't know what you're doing. Mason Cox, I don't know why 2% of you are going for him. He averaged 41 over 8 games. I just wouldn't go near it. Just don't do it to yourself. Yeah, look, don't do it. Shea Bolton, excuse me, I'm yawning. He's probably, him and Murphy Reid are probably the only guys I probably want to talk about. So Josh Tracy, I kind of have that rule. I don't like choosing key forwards. You got Swikowski, Patrick Voss, and Michael Frederick. But more on Shea Bolton and Murphy Reid. Shea, I feel like he could be a guy you upgrade as your F5 or 6 towards the end of the season, you don't have much money, and Shea Bolton's there. It's not the worst, but there's so many mouths to feed in that midfield where I know that they want to play him in the midfield just a little bit of spark. But there's no point when they've got Hayden Young. So I think they're going to play him half forward, get up at the ball, do some fancy stuff, maybe even go deep forward, who knows. So at the moment, going to steer clear from him. What's his percentage? 1%. There you go. There's a reason why he really shouldn't be going for him. Murphy Reid, obviously, shun from that rookie draft class, obviously winning the rookie of the year. I forgot what it's called, but just rookie of the year award, I guess. 370K. He made people good money for them last year. I didn't have him last year, but he's going to be in that category. You're like, well, he did well for you this year. He's not going to do well 2 years in a row. I don't see him doing a massive, significant difference. Like the most I reckon you can get is 450K. An average of 80. I don't even see that happening. An average of 75 will get him maybe at 400K. So he's only making around, 30K. So I'm just going to say no. Tracy Spikowski, Voss and Frederick, we've said no already. So that is the starting. I don't know if that I just put a bunch of players out I like to talk about at the moment, but then I will go down this list and see guys that I've missed out. Oscar McDonald only played when Alex Pearce was out, so no point bringing him. Jeremy Sharp as well. Don't know how he's going to. I know he's played 14 games. Might play the wing, but also O'Driscoll's in front of him. Him and Erasmus are in a weird situation, I feel. Jai Mitchell, I just wanted to fit him into that forward line because he played every game last year. He'll be playing every game this year. Just don't go with him, in my opinion. Draper played half the games as well as Isaiah Dudley. Just clear nose, in my opinion. 2% I've got Cooper Simpson. I believe he could play back, but look, that back line, it's starting to become a little bit hard to get into. With the inclusion of Judd McPhee, you've got Clark, you've got O'Meara now going back, got Ryan Pearce, you've got Brennan Cox, Banfield Chapman. Like, there's so many names. Kyle Warner, he might not even get a game. So it's going to be very interesting how they run that back line. Same with Cooper Simpson, they might play. Goodness me, Sturt's really not fallen off, but I remember he was like a little bit promising a couple of years ago, and I didn't mind him from an outsider's perspective. Oh my God, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's his 8th AFL season. Didn't even realise, but yeah. Got up to 270K, so look, not too bad, but didn't play a game last year. Now he's dropped off to 143K. Do I see him making the squad again? Nah. Carr, Davies, Murphy, Nichols, Riddle. I'm going to say no. Tobin Murray, I've got in my team just because I read those notes and I was like, he's 113, 500K guy and I can afford in the forward line. Let's bring him in. Adam Swade, Kickett, Ryder Luke, and Toby Kenobi. The rest of the team there. What's that? 43 players. Nice. So that will do it for me. Talking about all those guys. Normally, I've done so far my top 5 picks going into with this list here, and there's a lot of guys you can go with. I think number 1 is definitely Hayden Young. I think if you're going to be picking a guy from Fremantle, I think Hayden Young is your number 1 pick, in my opinion. Brayshaw, I think, is number 2. Clark is number 3. Sarong 4. And I'm going to say Jackson 5. Because, I'd have Jackson higher because I think I've got him in my team compared to Sarong. But what I mean by that is we have no idea about the ruck rules and how it's going to affect him and how much money he might lose. So, look, we'll see how the year plays out. But that's my 5. It'll be Young 1, Brayshaw 2, Clark 3, Sarong 4, Jackson 5. But yeah, that's going to do it for me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Let me know if you liked some of the insight that I thought of, my opinions. If you think they're wrong, if you agree with them, let me know. Let me know about anything. So just give me the heads up how I'm doing. But yeah, thanks again for tuning in. Hopefully you guys have a good one, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.